Alrighty, welcome back to episode 11 of Definitely Random. I'm here with your boy, Big Dick Eric.
Yes, sir. The one and only.
The one and only, the one biggest of south
BMC.
of Dallas. What?
BMC?
Big BMC?
Mexican?
Big Mexican cock?
Sir.
Is that what you meant?
Beat that out, yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's okay. I think we got one word. I think we're allowed one word. After
This is
that,
for mature...
if you go too vulgar, I think YouTube flags you.
Yeah.
This
is for mature audiences only.
It don't matter though.
You think?
Yeah, no, I've seen other YouTube channels where like they have to bleep it out. Even if like there's one channel, they're like more military guys.
Yeah.
And they review like action movies, or whatever.
Yeah,
and they'll cuss once in a while, but they have to bleep it out. Just because if you do too many, YouTube will flag you.
And they'll send the FBI after you.
Basically.
And kill you.
Basically. For cussing.
Just for saying fudge nuggets.
Just break in.
Watch out, watch out. Anyway.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a good week so far. We always say it's been a good week, but we always record this on Tuesday. So we don't know if it's been a good week.
Nah, I mean, well, I don't know. I feel like every Monday you can kind of feel how your week's going to go.
My week's going to be a little busy.
Yeah.
But not like... It was a okay busy.
Uh-huh.
And then I found out today that I'm 4 days late on my trainings. So now it's kind of like busy because now I got to do both.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
It's a drag.
I'm probably going to do a training after hours because during hours I have to do my actual work.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that gets done.
Mm-hmm. Because the training is just kind of like whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever. They'll fire me, worst case, whatever. Anyway.
In this economy, you can find a job super quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's pretend.
You just go anywhere, they're going to throw a name tag on you.
Yeah, let's pretend that's true. Back to altitude.
You could?
Do you think they're hiring?
Probably. It's summertime, yeah.
I've got a bunch of kids. I don't know if I could do it now. I feel like I've been so out of the... I was going to say out of the game, but I didn't mean it like that.
I'm pretty sure you can...
I want this closed.
Dude, I'm pretty sure you can go in as like a lead.
If I don't go in as general manager...
if you don't go in as an owner,
yeah, I'd get the fuck out of there. Anyway, but yeah, it's been a good week for me.
That's good.
How about you?
Pretty boring.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm scared tomorrow for work. I'm pretty sure... Not just me, but I'm pretty sure all of my coworkers are going to get in trouble.
You guys are going to get a little bitched out?
A little bit, but it's okay.
But it's whatever.
Whatever.
What are they going
to do?
I have this really bad mentality now. I'm just like not fearful of like getting bitched out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Just put your laptop on mute and then just let them go on.
And I think I have that because of I have no desire to move up or like do better. Like
that's true.
Like just where I'm at, obviously. I'm not. we've discussed it before. I'm not gonna go back down that rabbit hole, but I'm not gonna be here forever.
Right. It's
so
not.
I'm gonna do what I have to do.
You're gonna do your job.
Do my job. Do it right. Obviously.
You're not gonna bend over backwards. And
yeah. And I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, now
I have to do this.
My manager is gonna think bad in my performance review.
Right.
I
don't think I'm gonna be long enough to be a manager. Or
I kind of hope I'm not.
I don't.
Yeah.
No, because if I become a manager here, I feel like I'm gonna have to be here for a while.
Yeah.
For the stability of it. Because
my lead's been here. He's been here 3-4 years.
Yeah.
He's a lead.
Yeah. Well, you have to. Like, you won't become a manager. At least where we work, you can't be a manager until or you won't be eligible to be one until like your 4-year mark or so. Mm. And even at that, you need to have certain credentials. At least in my department,
really,
you need certain credentials, and you need there to be a spot open.
Right.
Either you stay there that long, or you come transferring from a different place already with managerial experience and all that.
And they could throw you in.
Yeah, but I mean I think that's everywhere.
Right.
As long as you show up with manager experience, they'll throw you in there. But yeah.
Interesting.
Anyways.
That's not what today's episode's about. We're not trying to go back down this rabbit hole.
No, yeah, that's the whole thing.
Anyway.
Not exciting.
We got the campfire back on, and this time it's themed. It's The Witcher themed.
Which I
didn't know they had different themes. They have different type of wood, too.
So do I.
Well, you should actually probably get that looked at. Fuck. You okay, bro? They have birchwood, and then they have classic. And they have a third one, but I didn't read the third one. And I saw The Witcher.
No, okay, I get you.
The Witcher's like 1, and then they have like the regular, like what we used to have on the 1 or 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the wood, it's like one's birchwood, and then one's classic, whatever that means. And then
just
I think there's one
brown
more.
Wood or whatever.
Yeah.
I got brown wood too.
Shit. Mine's kind of pink. Has blood loss. I need to see a doctor.
And I got the Alaskan bullworm.
Oh, from SpongeBob. Yeah, nasty. But yeah, I thought it was a cool fire. Have you seen The Witcher?
No, I haven't. I played the game a little bit. I played like a quarter of it.
It's a decent show. Season 1 and 2. They're gonna release it. I don't know if you know. It's Henry Cavill or Cavill.
They switched them, didn't they? They got the.
I think it's a Hemsworth brother now.
Yeah, Liam, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's Liam, not Thor, the other one.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I know you haven't seen the show, but Henry did a really good job.
I heard it was really good. It was received well, but a lot of it had to do with him actually being a gamer, and he played the games. He loves the story.
Yeah.
And so like he was very much like, we have to do it this way.
Right.
Or I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But I forgot why they were switching him out.
I don't know. I didn't read too much. I was just upset. So season 3 is not going to have him, and now I'm like,
Yeah, I think that's going to be most people.
But they've also I remember they released season 1 when we were in college. And then season 2 came out maybe like 2 years ago. So it's like every other year. It's like some Stranger Things type shit. Because that's ridiculous how long it takes them to release. The next season, apparently, because they got renewed, it's season 5 now, or 4. I'm not too sure what season it's on. But it's supposed to be in like 2025 or something. She's almost died. It's 2 years from now. Like, those kids aren't even kids anymore. It's gonna be those kids are gonna have kids by the time the new season comes out, and it's just like not the same. Anyway, that's also not what today's episode is about either.
Keep getting sidetracked.
I like your shirt. I told you right before the episode started. That's a good shirt. But anyway, episode for today is insert alien music here. Aliens. And not the ones from across the border. Ayo.
We got him.
He's here, boys. Just kidding. It's a joke. Fuck.
Now you can say it because you're Hispanic, so
yeah,
it's okay.
I can be racist towards myself. All right, so whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, aliens with all the stuff that's been going on.
You brought up this one person, which I'm gonna let you take that one away here in a bit. Which I hadn't heard of this dude. Which by some or most accounts they say is the most believable / realistic / I guess those are the best words I could think of. Alien story. And you kind of gave it at a good time because just recently, was it last week? The Las Vegas thing?
Vegas one?
The Vegas
Well,
thing.
there's like 2 things in Vegas. The one was like that was in the sky. I keep
these chairs. That's why I have to sit forward purposefully. Fix my posture too, but if I lean back the slightest, right there, you see this shit? Goddamn.
Oh yeah, in Vegas, there was one where it was like, I think he broke something.
I definitely maybe broke something. Anyway, disregard. I'm sorry for all that noise.
It was the body camera.
Oh, of the cop.
Of the cop seeing something in the sky, and he went to go like investigate,
right?
Asking people like if they saw something in the sky.
If I'm not mistaken, that cop was he doing a routine stop, and that just so happened to be in the background?
I believe so. Yeah.
And then there was, and then continue. I'm sorry. I don't
no. That was it was like a routine stop. He saw it. The person who was pulling over saw it, I believe. And then he just kind of like let that person go. He tried to go investigate because his partner saw the same thing, so he knew.
And which he said in the video.
Yeah, I think they were receiving calls too. Yeah. Like, hey, this is happening. And he was kind of like, I don't know if I want to go investigate. I don't know if I get paid enough. But like, he was asking people around the area if they had seen anything or heard anything. So there was that. And then there's other one like in the backyard with the people. There's like 3 or 4 of them.
Yes, those dudes are speaking that language.
I have no idea.
I don't think it's Spanish, but it's like a...
The type of Spanish.
I wish I knew what they were saying.
It was, I think it was I don't know. It wasn't English.
Yeah, it wasn't English. I bring that up only because I wish I knew what they were saying.
But it's trippy though because I didn't notice. I had to rewatch it a couple of times. But some of them are carrying a gun, like on their hip. Yeah. And if you have a gun, I mean, you'd think you'd feel kind of safe. Right. But like the fact that they kept like seeing something and backing up while having a gun. Right. Like, I don't know. I kind of believe they saw something.
You think so?
I think so. I just want to believe in aliens. Oh, I do believe in aliens so bad. Right. And then with NASA confirming everything in their press conference, and the same thing with Dr. Greer, Stephen Greer, also confirming this stuff.
Yeah. I definitely thought we couldn't be the only beings in the universe. That's, I mean, religious or not, whatever your beliefs are. It's hard to believe. Is so big. Right. It's hard to believe we're the only ones.
We can't be. We can't.
Right. There's got to be, even if it's not like human, there's got to be some life form. Exactly. If you want to call it an animal or alien, I guess, but if you want to call it something, there is something of a life form somewhere else.
And I'm sure there's thousands of other, maybe millions in just our galaxy. Right. And there's like an infinite number of galaxies. Right. There has to be.
In the multiverse. Which is today's episode, is about Doctor Strange.
No, it's not.
And Captain Marvel and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
But right now, I believe in aliens, and yeah, just everything all kind of happening at once. I want to talk about this guy, which I had heard. I think I told you, heard about him, kind of saw his story, and just kind of fell in a rabbit hole the other day.
He has a movie, right?
Yeah, he has a movie.
You told me about this today. I obviously have not watched the movie, but
I haven't seen the movie yet.
I heard his story, or his full story. I heard that already, but I want to watch the movie. His
movie is called Fire in the Sky. For those that want to see it, I haven't seen it, so I mean, I don't know if I can recommend it or not.
It's also an older movie. I think
it's the aliens.
It's the fucking aliens.
But what if I just get zapped and I just disappear?
Fucking, we record that. That's awesome. That'd be funny. I'd laugh. And
no, you wouldn't.
I would probably run. I'd run. No, I'd run. I'd laugh about that. Sucks. I'm out. I'm not even taking my stuff. I'm just fucking in my chanclas. I'm fucking out of here. And
that'd be crazy.
That'd be wild. That'd be funny. I'd be like, they got him.
It is an older movie. It came out in 1993.
Okay, yeah.
But
go ahead. Go take it away. I'm gonna let you take it away. You were very excited about it. So
okay.
We're gonna hear the story. Go ahead.
So the story is about a man named Travis Walton. And his abduction incident, UFO incident, whatever you want to call it.
His encounter.
Yes. So his man's name is Travis Walton. He was an American, like a forestry worker. Mm-hmm. So he would do like lumber and forestry preservation, I guess. Anyways, he was working on a contract with 6 other men that were part of his crew out in Snowflake, Arizona. Sorry, guys, I'm doing this from memory. But
I'm like low-key fact-checking him as he goes because I just heard this like an hour ago. So I'm like, yes, that checks out. Yes.
I like this story so much. Like, I've retained like 98% of it, which trips me out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So he did this better than he does his actual job.
So he was working out in Snowflake, Arizona in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest. That's the part. I have some little facts pulled up like that.
Right.
But so he was working out there, and they had been working long nights because they're having to meet a deadline, and they were already behind, even though they're working consecutive late nights. But on this specific night, November 5th, 1975, him along with 6 others were leaving because it was already pretty late at night. They were leaving. They were tired. They wanted to go home. On their way home, they were driving. They saw this circular object in the sky with like lights. And obviously, I mean, everyone's going to be intrigued. So they kind of stopped, and some of them didn't want to stop. Most of them did. They're looking from afar, and Travis, kind of in a trance, is the way he describes it, just started walking towards it. And the rest of his 6 guys with him were calling out to him like, "Hey, Travis, don't do that. Get back here. What are you doing? Something's going to happen." But he just didn't hear them, zoned them out, whatever. He went as close as you can get to it, looking up at it, and he described it as like I said earlier, just being in a trance, and he just was so intrigued by it. He was admiring it really, when all of a sudden like this beam of light hit him, knocked him back about 20 feet, and that's when the other 6 dudes started panicking. Obviously, I mean, what else do you do in that situation? They all left. They got in the truck. They started leaving, and then a couple miles down the road, the driver was like, "Wait, we can't just leave them. This is wrong. You guys can stay here, but me and this truck, we're going back to get them. If you want to come, great, but we're going." Turned around, went to go get him. At least they tried, but he wasn't there. The ship was gone. He was gone. Everybody started panicking. People were crying. They didn't know what to do. And the most composed person, I forgot his name, but he's like, "Okay, well, like, we have to call the authorities if we ever want a chance of seeing him again, or, we don't want people thinking we're the ones that killed him and hit him or something, So they called the sheriff's department, and they're like, "Hey, our friend is missing. I can't really go into detail here over the phone, and it won't make any sense. You guys need to come down here." That's when 2 sheriff's deputies, they come, get the story, and immediately, like, they're not believing it.
Yeah. Did you I don't know if I missed that, but did you say what year this took place in?
1975.
Okay, but did you say that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, sorry.
November 5th, 1975.
Gotcha. Okay, just keep that in mind. This is like...
So this is the time period nobody's really believing. I mean, there's some...
Right, but not like it is right now.
Right.
Continue.
They were trying to tell the cops in detail what happened without saying directly like it was aliens or UFOs. But as they were trying to get that detail, and it kind of wasn't making sense, that's when a couple of them, they just cut to the chase. They're like, it was aliens, it was UFO, they took them. That's when the sheriffs are like, that doesn't make any sense. It was probably you guys. But so immediately after that, the sheriff, I forgot his name.
I think one of them is Kaseki.
Kaseki?
Kaseki,
and I forgot the other
and then
one.
I forgot the other one. I don't know if it was. I remember the last name of one and the first name of another. I don't know if it's the same person or if it's just one name. Kaseki and Ken is what I remember. Again, I don't know if that's the same person or it's the first name of. I know Ken's the first name, and I know Gaseki's the last name. Anyway, that's not too important.
Well,
but I think Gaseki was the lead, like sheriff. I think so.
Yeah. Well, they both started taking control of the investigation, but one of them was more involved than the other.
Right.
But immediately then, the head sheriff, he started a search party, got dogs, helicopters, and everything to search the area. And while these 6 men went back home, get some sleep, whatever, because obviously there wasn't enough evidence to detain them or anything like that. So while they're doing the search party, these guys went home, came back the next morning to kind of see what was going on. Throughout the whole night, they couldn't find anything. Search party had no evidence of anything that Travis was even there. And that's when one of the dudes in the group of 6, they saw some men in like red suits, like kind of like hazmat suits, but red. There's 3 of them, and it was described as like, they had like a metal detector in their hand.
Right, like a little...
Right, yeah. But they were looking for radiation.
Right.
He didn't know that though, so he was curious, maybe like the sheriff brought them here for maybe the paranormal side of stuff. Maybe they did believe them. So he went to go talk to them, and the guy's like, hey, what's that? He's like, I'm just looking for radiation. And that's when the guy from the group of 6 that went to go start the interaction, he's like, wait, we're with them. Maybe we have radiation on us because we're in the same, it's radiation. It doesn't stay contained. It spreads.
Right.
So he's like, maybe we got some on us. So they scanned each person. Nothing came up because, like I said, they went home, changed, so now they have fresh clothes on. Nothing really stuck to them. And that's when they remember, like, wait, we have our hard hats. So they scanned the hard hats, and the radiation went from 0 to like max. And that's when the red suit people, they looked at each other, they looked at the people up and down, and they're like, okay, we got what we need. And they're like, wait, what are y'all doing? Like, what does that mean? And they ignored them, they packed up their stuff, and they just left. And so confused, the guy went to go talk to the sheriff, like, hey, who were those guys in red? The sheriff was like, I don't know who they were. Like, there shouldn't be anyone in red here, like in those suits. Who are you talking about? They went to go look for them, they couldn't find them. Started asking around the search party to see if anybody knew who they were, what they were doing here. Nobody knew who they were, what they were doing. So that just kind of,
do like a curveball.
Yeah, exactly. Because you just proved that they were radioactive. Like, how would you get that out in the middle of nowhere in the forest?
Right.
So it kind of proves their story a little bit.
Right.
So fast forward a couple days, this gets picked up not only nationally but internationally. Different places, different news outlets picked up the story. They're writing about it, but a lot of the public weren't believing them.
Right.
They all kind of thought it was them. They killed him, hit his body.
This is like a hoax.
They
always said that word hoax.
Yeah, they were thinking it was a hoax. The sheriffs were thinking it was a hoax too, so they even told them, they're like, hey, if you tell us where his body is, we'll take it easier on you when you're arrested and all that. All of them stuck to their story. No details changed. And yeah, so they stuck by it. So the sheriff got some guy who would help with the FBI, I believe, to do the polygraph.
Yeah, the polygraph. It wasn't FBI. It was and I meant to look up the department. Mm-hmm. It was like I've never even heard of it. Mm-hmm. It was Department of what's the word they use? Intrusions or it wasn't investigations in. I forgot what word they used, but it was like some department. I've never heard of it. I don't even know if that's a real government thing right now. But it was, I guess.
I'm pretty sure it's like super low key.
Yeah, and like this department again. I'm not saying I'm a knowledgeable guy, but it's not like they called the FBI, the CIA, the Homeland. It was like Department of. I'm just gonna stick with the word intrusion or investigation, something.
Interrogation.
Maybe. I don't know. But continue. Well, it was like that department. Yeah. Never heard of it, but they called some guy from that place of the United States government.
Well, apparently this guy that they invited over to conduct the interrogation and do the polygraphs on these 6 people, this guy had a 92 to 98% success rate. Yeah. So the polygraphs aren't 100%; they never will be. But this guy had his high percentage. Right. So he was
number one recruit out of high school.
I guess.
D1 bound.
5-star.
5-star for sure.
But he was the best of the best, and he interrogated each of them separately, and he was surprised because all of their detailed stories lined up. Obviously, there's slight differences in their stories only because they were telling it from their point of view, which is completely expected. That's normal. And all 5 of them had their tests come back as positive, I guess, or like they weren't lying basically.
Right.
Except for one.
Yeah,
One came back inconclusive, but that doesn't mean he was lying. It just means they couldn't get a good read.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, even he was telling the sheriffs, like, you know, 5 or 6 people in a row getting all their details. Like, that's really hard to get everyone on the same page without messing up and passing my exams. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
it's all borderline impossible.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I mean, I want to say I believe them, but I mean, that's up to you. So at this point, they still hadn't been arrested, but the public was calling for their arrest because, I mean, it's kind of hard to believe in, you know, at that time, especially, like, oh, it was aliens. So the cops were kind of feeling like, you know, we might have no choice but to arrest them, at least for now, at least detain them. But at this point, about 4 or 5 days had already passed. I believe it was 5. And then out of nowhere, Travis makes a reappearance. He woke up on the side of the road near Heber, Arizona, mm-hmm. which is just a couple miles away from Snowflake, Arizona, I believe. Right. So he woke up there. He had no idea where he was, and he described it like in his mind, all this happened in a matter of minutes. So like he would start walking in any direction. He's like, I need to find some sort of civilization. I don't know where I'm at.
Right.
Picked a direction. He kept going, and then I don't know where he got like a rush of adrenaline. He started panicking, I guess, mm-hmm. which makes sense. I mean, you don't know what's going on. And he took off, and he actually found his way back to Snowflake, Arizona, near I think a truck stop or something like that. He got on the payphone, called his brother, and be like, hey, you know, it's me. And his brother didn't believe him because, again, at this point, it had been about like 5 days where he had been missing. So he, you know, proved to his brother that it was actually him. His brother came to pick him up, and Travis didn't know what sort of commotion all this brought, you know, with the news outlets and stuff. So he took him to Phoenix, Arizona, to a hospital to get checked out first. He's like, you know, first and foremost, you know, your health needs to, you know, come first. We don't know what happened to you. You don't know what happened. And on the way over there, his brother kept asking him, like, you know, what happened? And he just wasn't speaking because he truly did not know. Yeah. He went to the doctors. Everything was tested physically and all that. Mentally, everything came back normal. He did have an injection site, like a hole in his arm. Like when you get like a needle or something? Yeah, he had that. And so they thought maybe he was drugged or something, but they tested him for all sorts of drugs. He had nothing. His system was clean. So other than that, like needle mark or probe mark or whatever you want to call it, he was completely fine. And as he was sitting there, his memory slowly started coming back, and he started remembering what happened to him. And at some point, everyone started finding out that Travis was back. Yeah. So all the news outlets, news got out. Yeah, news got out. They started attacking, calling his brother, trying to get stories. And then that's when the National Enquirer was like, hey, you know, like, well, we can, if you give us like an exclusive, we can pay for your medical stuff. We'll get you examined, have them run tests that normally they wouldn't run on like normal people. So you know, we'll take care of everything for you. All you got to do is give us an exclusive. So they agreed to it, and that's when like by the time all that happened, most if not all his memory kind of came back of what happened, mm-hmm. and the other 6 workers that were with him, they all like went to him. They all started crying and all that, and you know, just trying to ask what happened. And later he told them, but initially, so his story to the National Enquirer was that all he remembered was being hit by that like beam of light, and then everything kind of like just went black, I guess. Like he couldn't remember. Then he just woke up on like an examination table, and he was still kind of groggy when he was kind of coming to consciousness, and he just saw people in what looked like lab coats, somewhat kind of like lab coats. He was like, okay, man, like I guess whatever that was, it must have been pretty bad because these guys brought me to the hospital. And he's kind of like just trying to take in the surroundings. Things were looking kind of weird. He had said he had this like box thing on his chest,
like an orange box, right?
Yeah, but he couldn't recognize it as any modern medical equipment at that time, so he didn't know what it was, but he just knew it was on him. Started looking around, and kind of like he started, how can I say it?
Like coming to his senses.
Yeah, coming to his senses, and that's when he saw them. He freaked out because he described what he saw as, I don't know how many it was, but it was a couple.
I think it was 3.
3?
Yeah.
3 4-foot tall, thin-headed creatures. Right. They were kind of gray in color, not super dark gray, but like just like grayish.
Pale gray.
Yeah. and the eyes were kind of slanted with like slits, thin eyes is the way he described it, and they all kind of like surrounded him a little bit. And that's when he started panicking. He's like, what the heck? Shoved them off. He picked up the first object he could, started swinging at them, yelling at them to like, leave me alone. I need to get out of here. Where am I? What are you doing? And they all just kind of stared at him, kind of studying him a little bit. And they kind of grouped together and they just walked out of the door and they went down a hallway to the left. And that's when he's like, okay, I need to get out of here because if they come back and I'm still here, I'm probably going to die.
Right.
So he got out of there. Instead of going left, he went right. And he was like in this dark room and he saw a chair, I believe similar to like this, just, but facing the other way so he couldn't see if anyone was in it. He kind of peered around it. Nobody was there. So he sat down, tried to find some indication of where he was. And then that's when he describes like this human-like person came in, looks like a normal human being, said it looked like a man, just the way his physical features were. Looked like a man in like a astronaut suit.
Right.
But he described it as kind of being dead in the eyes. Like, I'm talking to you or you're talking to me, but
like staring into like nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of zoned out. Like he's looking in his direction, but zoned out completely. And he just kind of grabs him, and Travis is trying to talk to him like, hey, what are you doing? Who are you? Where are we? Like, we got to get out of here. And the guy,
because at the time he thought like this is a human, he's come to like save.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
he thought it was a fellow human, but I mean at this point we don't know.
Right.
And I have something to say about that too. Took him to like what looked like a hangar, like where other ships were. He saw the same similar ships that he saw that night, just kind of like in a row. I guess like a military base. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a landing platform, maybe.
Kind of, yeah.
Is what I imagine.
And then that's where the guy took him by the arm to that area, and he saw two other human-like
similar
people.
To the astronaut-looking guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think it was a man and a woman there, and like he was still trying to talk to them, and same thing, kind of dead in the eyes, kind of zoned out, just kind of looking in his direction, and like they weren't responding to him. But he's still trying to figure out what happened, and then when out of nowhere, he just remembers just waking up on the side of the road, if I'm not mistaken. He just woke up on the side of the road, and that's
so you pretty much got it. So those three people, he dragged him there, and at this point, he's starting to get like a little skeptical because he's like, okay, where are we going?
Yeah.
So he's starting to a little bit resist. So then the other two come up, and then they put him on a table.
Okay.
So they lay him on a table. He's like fighting back. He's like, what's going on? Like, I thought we were like leaving. So now he's skeptical, whatever. So they're kind of like holding him down, and then he remembers they put like a gas mask on him.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah.
So they put a gas mask on him, and then he like passes out.
Yeah.
And then next thing he remembers is the road thing. So you go ahead.
Yeah. So he just woke up on the road, and that's where that story begins. But after all six of the people like were like together again, well, I guess seven now. They all started crying. Being knowing that they weren't crazy and that he's okay, first of all, they're not going to go to jail for murder or anything like that. But what's sad is I had read that after all that happened, they all went their separate ways.
Yeah, it was I heard, because I like watched a video on it, that it was like so traumatizing to them that they just like didn't even want to speak about it to each other, and they just all went their separate ways and they never talked.
Yeah, they never communicated to each other again.
Yeah.
But even between that time and I think like 30 years later, they were polygraphed, I think like 11 times.
Yeah, so they polygraphed, what's his face? Travis? I think five times.
And then the rest 6 extra times.
Like 6 each, 6 more. So total like
Yeah, about 11.
Like 11 more readings or something like that. Right?
And they all still stuck to the same story. They're all still passing their exams. Even the one that initially had the inconclusive result, he passed the exams and everything. So like no one was lying. They all still stuck to their story. They never deviated from what they said.
Yeah. And
so I mean things kind of obviously fizzled out. They're not really being talked about. It's just I just fell down a rabbit hole with all the alien stuff going on. Yeah. And I heard about it, saw the videos, read about them, and so I do believe in his story a little bit. And God, jeez. But going back to so that's pretty much it for the story, by the way. And then later he made a book about his encounter, then they made a movie about it. But going back to this humanoid things, I remember reading a couple of years ago, like other people's alien abduction stuff, claiming that they were taken to mix their genes with alien DNA so they can make like an alien human cross, breed, whatever. And so I was thinking, like, if those humans were either there forever, like they never got a chance to escape, and they just kind of like mentally just broken, or maybe those are like
the mix, like the offspring. Yeah. So
that was my thinking. I don't know. That's not confirmed or whatever. That's just me trying to connect some dots.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know whether you believe in his story or not. I kind of do. It's somewhat believable.
It's like for me. It was like I still believe in aliens, but to me, everything is like always hit or miss because it's like. That happened in the 70s, 75 when it happened. The technology isn't what it is now, so it's a little more believable as to like how they can fake it or whatever. I mean, there's no footage of it either, obviously. There was no technology, but but then what... And like I said, it's also situational. What kind of like maybe iffy in the story was that the part of the story where they say those 3 guys that were in the red suits and nobody knew who they were. Now, obviously, that can still happen. When there's such like mass or large search parties, so many people, you kind of lose track of who's who. You know what I mean? But to me, it feels like at that time in kind of a smaller town, Snowflake, Minnesota, Arizona, that one, Minnesota. What the fuck? I felt like that would have been a little harder for someone to not. Dead again. Broke the chair. We're breaking these chairs. They're gonna fucking fine us.
Fine you.
Anyway, I felt like for that it would have been a little harder just because it was a smaller town. It's kind of, to me it sounded like a town of like you kind of know everybody. You know what I mean? Even if you don't know them personally, you know of them. So, and at that point, it was only a couple days after. I don't think it seemed as if like FBI had really, or like Homeland Security had really come in at that point. You know what I mean? For the search party. The search party was just like next day or the next morning when that accounts of the story happened was the next morning when those guys in red suits. So that's where I was kind of iffy. I was like, well, how do you not notice 3 random dudes? And then another part was like, well, how did they just disappear? You know what I mean? So that kind of. And they never really got back to that when I was hearing.
Yeah, they never talked about them.
They never came back to that of, oh well, to this day, no one knew, or later on, in accounts with the government and during their testing, they actually found out the guys in red were the whatever the fuck XYZ people of the XYZ corporation or whatever
government sector.
Now that could also be like a Area 51 type.
Well, that's what I was thinking because like. Even at this time, I feel like the government technology, like the low-key stuff, they're always going to be more advanced than what they're leading us, or what they're telling us. So I think even at this time, they probably knew there was like UFO activity or alien activity in the area. And they just kind of saw like, how can I say? They got readings of just something happening. So they had people go to the area. Obviously, they see the cops and all that. So they go start checking that area. And I don't know, I feel like if somebody sees you in suits like that, nobody's really going to question you because you look very official. Right. I wouldn't question it. If I was part of a search party, because a lot of the time the search parties are made up of some cops, obviously, and volunteers. But if you're seeing people in like hazmat suits with what looks like somewhat like high-tech equipment, maybe it didn't look high-tech, but regardless, you see them with equipment doing something, I don't think you're going to question them all that much. I wouldn't question that. But like, okay, cool. It's just people doing their job, whatever they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. Right. So I don't know. I feel like it would be kind of easy.
But as the head guy who said, "Oh, I don't know who these people are," or whatever, well, you don't think he would be like, "I don't recognize them." You know what I mean? Regardless of whether you think they're doing something official or not, you know who you called, and I'm assuming a person in that power, what equipment's being brought. Generally, seeing 3 guys in suits with metal detector looking things, I feel like that's still suspicious.
Well, that's why he was kind of confused too, because he's like, I didn't bring them here. Who are they? So that's why.
Why not question them before?
Well, that's why, but like, because they're not in a area like this big. They work in the whole search party. It's huge. Miles, he's busy with, his higher ups, taking care of the whole search party. He's worried about so many things. he probably didn't even process it in his head, like, oh, these people are some strangers.
It was just more workers doing whatever.
Yeah. In his head's like, okay, everybody's busy, like, whatever. I have other things to worry about than telling these other smaller people, you know? So I feel like it was pretty easy for them to go, like, incognito mode and, like, just slide in, slide out. And the only part I do agree with you, like, how do you disappear so fast? But again, I mean, like, if it was, like, the government, like, top secret government people, I'm sure they have ways of just getting out of here. I'm not saying like teleporting or anything like that, but I'm sure they had a ride ready.
Yeah, just got in and blended in and just left, and it was like a fucking cop car looking one, and they just dipped on out of here. Right. So I saw an interview with Travis, and he went on the Joe Rogan show, the podcast, and he I only saw 10 minutes of it. I think they have a whole episode, but I only saw 10 minutes of it just because I saw the 10 minutes of it, and then I wasn't getting too much information from it, and I was trying to get information for the podcast. So obviously, but from his quick accounts, like he only talked about up until getting like abducted, the story of actually getting zapped. So what he said was that similar to what we've read and what we just kind of discussed, was that he was like walking towards the ship, and then he heard the people like calling him. His dudes were like, "Hey, come back," whatever. And then he was like, "Well," he was in a transition, and then he was like, "Oh shit, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Let me get back." But at this point, he was like super close, like 15 feet from the thing, or from the ship. And then he was like, "Shit, you know what? Let me hide." So he like dove behind a log, is what he said. He dove behind a log to like get cover. And then as he was like getting up to run, that's when he was like zapped, and it shot him like fucking 20 feet. And then he doesn't remember till whatever. And that's when his dudes left, came back, and blah, blah, blah. The story continues. Right. And then he also explains that on the ship, he remembers seeing like different types of spacecraft. So he explained two. He explained one being the circular one that was mentioned in the story. So it was like circular, disc shape with lights under it, looking like almost like panels, like ceiling panel lights. Oh, there's none here. I looked up and there was none here, and I was like, "Fuck!" But like in schools or buildings or whatever, you know, those white tile like panel lights is what it looked like under, which is what they saw allegedly. And then he described another one where it was just like a black, what do you say? A black triangle. Not too sure. I'm thinking he saw that. I kind of tied that back to the story where he saw that maybe in like that hangar. Because when they described like the hangar and the ships, to me, what I imagined was like Star Wars. When they land inside the ships, and all alongside you see them,
just like a row like
parts.
No, I pictured the exact same thing.
Is what I imagine. Again, I mean, who knows, right?
He was on the Death Star. He just didn't.
He probably was. It was probably just Darth Vader he was looking at. Fucking dude, come on, bro. It was just fucking Jar Jar Binks trying to help him. Goddamn, chill out, bro. But yeah, that's what I saw, and so he was just like I said. I think there's a whole episode on the interview with Joe Rogan. I didn't watch it just because I was trying to get the actual story details. And then he said how he goes on, and he talks about like other people's accounts of describing like aliens and how it was similar to him or how it differentiated. He explained that they were just like those doctors were like small, and not how we describe it. He said they were like bald. Just like, and what I thought of instantly was the movie Paul, because Paul's like 4 feet and bald. I was like, what?
Looking like Roger from American Dad.
Like Roger from American. That's what I imagine. I'm not sure. Obviously, that's what
I saw a clip of the movie, Fire in the Sky, and they have that scene where he's like waking up on the table. And the way they depicted the aliens in there, kind of trippy.
Yeah?
Yeah, they look a little freaky.
I wonder, let's see, is it on anything? Oh, another thing that
you can rent it on YouTube.
What's it called? Fire in the Sky?
Fire in the Sky. You can rent it on YouTube for like $2.99 or Amazon for $4.99.
Fire Disaster? Wait, what?
Fire in the Sky. Or if you have a Cinemax subscription, you can watch it on there. Also, because I tried to find it for free, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to pay in some way or another.
Oh, Hulu. It's on the Roku channel. It's on Amazon Prime if you have Amazon Prime.
Well, I already checked Hulu. You need the Cinemax add-on. Amazon Prime, you need the Cinemax add-on, or you can rent it. YouTube TV, you have to have the Cinemax add-on as well.
Damn, so just get Cinemax if you want to watch this fucking movie.
or other movies.
Or
the late night after midnight.
Channel 16. Ever seen it when you were growing
Channel
up?
16.
When you were growing
You
up.
remember the channel?
Yes, sir. Anyway, there was one more account he said was that in the area that he was abducted, it was one of the highest occurrences of lightning strikes. So what he was trying to say by that was that the U.S. or NASA or whoever, the international, whoever monitors it, has satellites that monitor like lightning strikes because of the readings that lightning gives off, like radiation.
Right.
And the only other place he said, I didn't fact check this. This was Travis talking. I didn't fact check it, but there's one more place that has even higher than that, and that's the Everglades in Florida. But that's over a body of water. So the one on like land is where he was, like I guess in the area, general vicinity of where he was abducted. So they're saying maybe that has something to do of why the aliens were there. I'm not too sure how that tied in, because that's he was kind of like drifting off and then he drifted onto something else. But that could be a reason why maybe like he was in that area is because maybe aliens use fucking lightning or something. Maybe why like they kind of go, what I was getting from it is maybe they kind of go hidden under the radar with lightning because...
they use it to like mask themselves?
Yeah, because radiation. So lightning produces radiation. Aliens, I guess, based on his story, gave off, or radiation. Based on the story of the men, gave off radiation.
Right.
Now, obviously, maybe you tie them together and you see more lightning. That's a place to investigate if you were like a paranormal investigator or you're the government. I guess that's why they... Or I don't know. That's just what my mind was kind of thinking, and all that is maybe they use the lightning in some way
to mask themselves.
That'd
be smart.
And then maybe that's why the dude showed up and we're testing radiation. I don't know. That was just kind of, like I said, something he had said and they had brought up in the quick 15 minutes I saw.
What do you do though if you get abducted and you wake up on that table?
What do you do? You get abducted, you're on fucking all fours, and they're fucking anally probing you. What do? Do you just let it happen?
Well, I don't think I have a choice. Am I like restrained?
No. You're just free. They just fucking got you.
And
there.
I just wake up and I have like a probe in my ass?
Like there's a guy and they're just fucking probing you, and they're like, hey bro, don't fucking...
Manually?
Yeah, they're fucking manually doing it. They're like, hey bro, don't flinch. And they're fucking, I don't know why I gave him like a Southern Cal accent. They're just like, fuck yeah, dude.
And they're just probing me?
Yeah.
Like, don't be shy, get the bigger one. I come in peace.
Get fucking in there. Come in peace, brother.
Don't be shy.
Man, I don't know. I feel like... So kind of going back, still on aliens, but going back to like Vegas. And I guess modern day sightings or whatever. I just feel like there's so much technology. And for example, the Vegas thing, like I feel like there should have been, or there could have been a clearer video or picture of...
Well, there kind of is. You remember that one that released a couple years ago that they declassified it after so many years of like some jet pilot, whatever, was following behind an unidentified flying object, and they were recording it and they're calling into command like, hey, this thing's going really fast. What is this? And like trying to communicate with it, nothing, but like it's zipping around. It's in a circular like disc shape, I believe, and it's kind of like the thing's kind of like in black and white, even though like it was nighttime. It's just the way it recorded, but like you can see the shape of it and stuff. I don't remember that. Yeah, it came out a couple of years ago. I think we were still in college. But like even NASA's came out recently. I think I was telling you earlier. They had a 4-hour press conference saying that like they've made contact with aliens. They exist. Whatever.
Well, the government has also declassified a lot of
so,
alien things.
I mean, I know they exist. There's so much evidence. I feel like now physical seeing like videos, pictures, all that's where it's lacking. Right. But like encounters from like scientists and other military people, I mean, like their accounts are there. Whether you want to believe them or not, it's up to you. But I mean, I don't know. I believe. So then, is the moon landing real? Is that why we haven't gone back? What? Well, that ties back to like the going to space. So like a lot of people have said that NASA hasn't
gone back to space in 30 years or 40 years. Like to the moon, I'm sorry, not to space, because there's like the space station.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone back to the moon in 40 years. Like why? When we're so much more advanced now than we were 40 years ago.
I feel like, and this is just me, I don't know, obviously, but I feel like they went to the moon, found that there's not much to explore.
Like, yo, it's fucking boring here, actually, bro.
The one, there might not be too much to explore. They might just be wasting resources doing so. They're like, in the couple of trips that we've been, we already know all that we're going to know. Or maybe they saw something, and they're like, yeah, let's not go back there again, because that's scary.
Yeah. I feel like if I had to pick, if you were giving me the choice of the two, I would pick the latter half.
Yeah.
Because I don't, as a scientist, I don't think I don't know how much time they have on the moon physically standing, but I cannot imagine
they found all
few hours that they spent on there. They have acquired all the scientific data they need to be like, it's not that good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no way you got that conclusion from that much time.
Right.
So I mean, that's what I was just bringing up. I'm not saying anything.
No,
I'm
that
not
makes
saying nothing
sense.
about nothing. I'm just saying like why haven't we gone back?
Yeah, that makes sense. But have you ever seen a UFO? Because I have. I think I have.
When?
I was younger, and I remember this vividly. I was younger. I was riding with. Who was I riding with? Okay, maybe I don't remember vividly. I think I was by myself. Actually, I was by myself. I was driving. It was sometime in high school. I might have been like a freshman or a sophomore.
Okay.
But I was riding back kind of late at night. And I was like a block or two away from home when I was just kind of like zoned out and I was just looking at the sky. When I don't know where I just see like a light kind of just moving around in an unnatural way. Like a plane's not going to...
Like a natural pattern?
Yeah, a pattern. There you go. Like a plane's going to just go straight, you know? They're not going to be moving around. Helicopter. They might fly around a little bit weird, but for the most part, they're flying straight, you know? But this, I was kind of zigzagging around. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And I saw it. It was going on for a couple of seconds. And at that time, I mean, I had like I don't know, not a good phone. I had like a cheap Android from Cricket.
Right.
I'm like, my phone's not going to pick this up. I'm not going to record it. But yeah, I remember it was just a light kind of way up there. And it wasn't close enough for me to like see a shape or anything like that. It was kind of high up, but I do remember seeing...
It was just a drone.
A circular light.
It was just a guy with a drone.
Drones were not that common.
You're not that common.
As they are now. I feel like in the past couple of years, they become more mainstream. I feel like when we were freshmen and sophomores.
Even up to senior year, I feel like they weren't that.
No, not that
like they
big.
were. Like obviously there was the Mavic. And people still did it, but not as much.
It wasn't, especially in the valley in Donna.
Yeah, a bunch of poor
Exactly.
Mexicans.
Exactly. You're not going to see
damn
people with DJI drones or Mavericks or whatever. No, that's not going to happen. And it was too high in the sky for it to be a drone.
What did you think? Like when you first saw it, and then when you got to the conclusion or what you thought, you were like, "Oh shit, am I looking at a UFO?" How did you feel?
I don't know. I was just staring at it, and I'm like, I'm excited, but I was also, I was scared, like, cause I'm like, and obviously I knew the chances of me just being taken are, probably zero. But I'm like, imagine if I just get taken right now.
That 0.00000000001%.
There's a chance.
Yeah,
there's a chance. No, but I feel like it was, obviously I still don't know what it is or what it was, but I feel like it was a UFO just because of the flight pattern, how high it was in the sky, and then I don't know where it just zipped off and that was it. It just kind of disappeared. It couldn't have been a star. It couldn't have been a shooting star. Not a helicopter, not a plane. For sure not a plane. There's no planes flying over Donna.
Right.
Helicopters maybe looking for people, but...
Even then you would hear the...
Yeah.
You hear those.
It was just quiet. I think at this time, it was probably close to midnight. Like, you would hear it. Right. Yeah, Donna is super dead at that time.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think it was...
Like the noise and the people. It's a lot of shootings going on.
I think it was a UFO. That's my little encounter. And even at night, I was in my room. I'm like, dang, like, what if they just land, like, nearby?
What would you do?
Bro, I don't know. Like, what could I do at that time?
Exactly.
I didn't have guns or anything. I think if I were to wake up on a ship, on a thing like that, obviously I'm going to be scared. I'm going to be panicky. But once, like, I kind of calm down, I'd be a little excited.
I can't say I would be. I think I would... To me, it would just be a fear of the unknown. Because it's like, well... Are they friendly? Are they not? Are they going to hurt me? Are they going to probe my ass? Are they going to fucking dissect me? Are they going to, like, torture me? Like,
what if they bring out Sorry.
Hey, bro, I got fucking feedback. I know you guys heard that
Sorry
shit.
if you got feedback on that. Hit the mic. What if they bring out like an alien female, thick as hell,
A fucking alien badussy?
and like they type something and it comes out in English saying, "We need you to clap cheeks," in the name of science.
God bless America. In the name of my country, God damn it.
I'm gonna draw an American flag and put it on that.
Ding. One small step for mankind, one giant nut for Nick. Boom.
Nick. Bop, bop, bop.
That's wild.
You gotta prove your worth.
I'm saying.
I'm gonna be the breeder. You know how we have bulls?
Yeah.
Breeder bulls, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be breeder.
You're gonna
Eric.
breed human aliens?
Yeah. Why not?
I respect it.
No, but honestly, like I said, obviously I'd be very panicked and scared, but at some point, once all that like adrenaline and all that fight or flight kind of calms down, I feel like I'd be kind of excited.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, still on guard. I'm not gonna trust them. I don't know their intention.
Right.
But I'd be kind of like, dang,
Like this is cool.
Yeah.
Like we're here.
like I'm gonna put something in my pocket as a souvenir. That way y'all can't call me liars.
All right.
And take some selfies like that.
Hey. That's cool.
Watch me on the PH on the orange and black, clapping alien cheeks.
That'd be wild.
Crazy.
That'd be wild.
Better run me a check for
Not
$1 billion.
but the bang ship. Because you're on the ship.
Bang shit. Imagine. What do you do if you wake up and
That's where you wake up. It's not a bang, but it's a bang ship. It's just aliens.
you just see like a just someone flying the ship and you have like an alien
One
with
dude
the
in
camera.
the back, just with the camera.
There's an alien girl just like bikini.
What's your name?
Right, oh, you don't know their language, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just, what do you do? Your pants are around your ankles and you're...
Dick's hard. Like, they fucking drugged you already. I don't know. I guess let it happen. I don't know. I'm not going to fight back.
Oh no, what happened? One eye open.
Oh no, I'm going to pass out. Spasm, muscle spasm.
Nah, that'd be crazy.
I don't know. That'd be something. I don't know. I think aliens are real, but...
I would try to find a way to communicate, be like, hey, like, what's your intentions with
Well,
Earth?
didn't NASA
like,
send out like a thing to deep space? Well, I read a thing.
I think I heard.
I read a thing that they sent out a thing to deep
signal,
space,
yeah.
and they received something.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the?
'Cause it was years later, because obviously just space
Speed of light, hoping to keep it
Yeah,
at time. Watch Interstellar.
It takes forever for signals to get over like radio waves.
Right.
But it took years, but they finally got something back, and it sounded kind of scary, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it in a long time, but from my
Recollection.
it sounded kind of scary.
Yeah, I do remember that, and I was like, that's scary.
Well, that scientist, the doctor, I think I want to say Stephen Greer, he was saying
Strange.
no,
Doctor
different doctor.
Okay,
different
my
doctor.
bad.
But I know he was saying that the aliens like have been here forever, and they're what do you call it? Not hostile. They're nice. They're just looking.
Chilling.
They're just observing us, whatever. But the reason why a lot of stuff like NASA and all that are coming out about all that now is just so that way when the time comes they can be like, hey,
We said something.
aliens are here. They're hostile. Like, let's start a military thing. Let's attack.
Space Force.
Yeah, just trying to get the public ready for like what's soon to come. Like they're gonna want to start a war with them, basically. But
I think we'd get caught.
Dr. Greer was saying like that's not the case. Like if they wanted us dead, we'd be dead by now. So
Right.
like whenever the time comes, like don't fall for it. Like
we're chilling, bro.
They're chilling, we're chilling. Like we can learn from each other. But until then, and this guy was saying like, oh, like 6 months from now we'll see. But I feel like I don't know if they're gonna do it. It would already happened by now.
I mean, you never know.
Dude, I'd be super excited. I'd load up all my guns just to be ready in case something pops
Would bullets
off.
even do anything though?
I don't know, but I'd rather have that than nothing.
Than nothing.
I'd rather have that false idea of protection than just standing there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at the emoji, just standing there,
Meh.
just waiting for something to happen. But yeah, I don't know. I believe in aliens. I like this guy's story. I believe it, and I hope one day I can interact with an alien, besides you.
Don't ask for my green card.
But no, I don't know.
I would too. I hope we come a day that there's just more information and more like,
Transparency, maybe.
maybe.
I just want a clear picture.
Like, what the fuck is in Area 51? Have they even said? Is that a thing?
We could have if we ever did the Naruto run thing. What's it called? The raid of Area 51.
Oh, when everyone met or posted on the internet to meet up, and they all went.
They're all gonna like
raid it.
That's just all running at once.
They
can't stop all of us.
I seriously think they would just fucking let them fucking have it.
It would look like another D-Day.
Yeah,
they're not letting anyone.
Yeah, no. And you just got fucking a bunch of weebs who read comic books, non-athletic as fuck.
Well, that's why I said the Naruto thing because memes. They're like, I'm gonna run in like this, and
I 100% believe it. Yes.
That's so bad.
There's gonna be like a select few who are fit, and
I mean, well, they obviously have that area super classified for a reason. I'm sure they have something.
Even if it's not alien related, it's got to be something related.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring up some other topics, alien-ish related.
Uh-huh.
We'll save it for another episode. There might be a little part 2-ish.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. Don't want to spoil it, but let us know what you think. Let us know if you believe in aliens. Let us know if you believe the story, because that's, I don't know, it's an interesting.
I believe it. I don't know. Do you believe it? To an extent.
I believe it to an extent. I feel like it was so back, and I mean, of course, you could do any. I'm not trying to discredit the olden days, but like for the middle of nowhere in buttfuck nowhere, 6 dudes who passed a polygraph, and I'm not saying that's 100% concrete because I mean you technically train to pass a polygraph. Like I think that's what like CIA spy agents. I mean I'm just based on Jason Bourne.
Polygraphs aren't admissible in court either because they're not 100% reliable. But I mean like 6 forestry workers.
Yeah.
Each time.
Yeah, I just feel like there's, again, I don't know. I do believe it to an extent, yes. But let us know what you think. This was a pretty good episode. I had fun.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a fun one. We're gonna come back for part 2-ish.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. No, I have one thing. I have 2
I'm always down to talk about it.
I have 2 things I want to talk about. I think we've maybe briefly touched it before, but we'll get more information, do our little bit of research. But yeah, let us know. Hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see y'all pretty soon. Peace.